Hello and welcome to DARIO'S movie review channel, and today we review two kind of very old movies. Not very old, not like the 50s or film noirs from the 60s or something like that, but I guess from the 80s. And it's not kick-ass martial arts movies today. Wait a second, let's put this here. It is more two movies in one review, and it is the review of Momo and the review of the Neverending Story. And the reason is this: I was reading a post or an article from a friend of mine on YouTube, and he was posting something like, he was also quoting the movie The Never-Ending Story, and it was something like, if creativity is stifled, or if your soul can't grow, even if your body goes on, kind of your soul dies. And it really does. I mean, we've seen that in the past few years with all the lockdowns and restrictions, and I never felt worse in my life. And now that everything is lifted and I'm free again, health and everything is coming back, like good vibes, good opportunities, health, strengths, muscles. And these two movies and he quoted the movie Neverending Story and Fantasia. And I never saw this movie when I was a child. I mean, I always knew it is with a big wolf and with Sebastian, and but I never really got to watch the movie. Nobody sat me down and we watched it together. I watched more other stuff, like Air Force One with Harrison Ford, Con Air, and probably other movies like The Last Unicorn. But a good friend of mine, Luca, who is a great Blink-182 fan and is also a really great movie buff, sat me down, I guess, a couple of months ago, and he said, "You gotta watch the movie, The Neverending Story." And I also kind of found a book here in my house, and it was The Neverending Story by Micheal Ende. And so I was intrigued. We sat down, and it's a movie from the 80s, but I guess it's Bavaria film production, so they gave it all they had, like production-wise. And the story is this: I don't have with me now my thing about acting and story, but the story is kind of like this. A kid who gets bullied in school finds a book, or hears or sees a book, and he steals that book and he starts reading that book, and strange things start to happen. And he reads about Fantasia and about this kingdom somewhere, and it's crumbling, it's getting smaller, and the nothingness or the void is kind of killing everything. It's like it's stifling everything. And at the beginning of the movie, you don't know what the nothingness is, but it's really bad. Like, it's swallowing up all these fairy tales and these beautiful sceneries. And a hero gets called to stop the nothingness and to save the princess. And maybe it's not the best review, but because I don't recall every single thing, but as I was watching the movie, it kinda struck me with some magic. And I know I didn't watch for a long time Harry Potter, and again, this same friend sat me down and said, "Man, you gotta watch Harry Potter, the movie. I read all the books, it's really good." And it was a time during Corona in 2020 where everything was going to shit. And when I sat down and watched the first Harry Potter, or when I sat down and watched this Never-Ending Story, some deeper magic, some excitement, something like watching a Jurassic Park 1 for the first time, like that feeling when you get inside your body and you're feeling good again and your mind is engaged and you're wondering and you're liking what you see. Like, life gets really exciting, and that feeling came to me while watching this movie. And then also, like, by the end, when the essence of the movie, I don't want to spoil it, but when the essence of the movie was spelled out or laid out, um, I it made me tear up. Like, it struck a chord deep inside my heart and being, and I felt that there was some deeper truth to this movie, and I felt it. It was like playing a string on a guitar, only inside of me. And so this movie is really important. I don't want to spoil it, but let me tell you just something. It's like, Fantasia is kind of made up of all the fantasies and creative things we are thinking in this world. And if we get streamlined, all creativity, excitement, spectacle starts to die. And that is really tragic, not only for the people of Fantasia, but also for the people in this world. But go and watch the movie. And I was also thinking if I will rename this DARIO'S Movie School. Not that it is a school, but as Quentin Tarantino said, or Robert Rodriguez, Robert Rodriguez went to movie school, but both kind of developed their taste by watching movies, by understanding movies, by seeing where they stood and what they liked. And now the second movie review, because it's the Micheal Ende stuff, is Momo, and both are based on a book. I guess you're sensing that things based on a book sometimes are good, because like if the book makes it through all the noise, and a book, they make a movie out of the book, like it's not that you can make also Wayne's World. Wayne's World is not based on a book, but Wayne's World is based on a character Mike Myers developed during his days as comedian. But the more you develop a thing, the more you condense it and hone it, the better it gets. So the second movie is Momo, and Momo is about a boy or a girl. I guess she's a little girl, and she's an orphan, I think. It's a while back. I watched this movie, and you think it's really old. It's like from the 80s or 85, but I think that a lot of the visuals from Dark City were influenced by this movie, and Dark City influenced Matrix. So who knows, no? Everything is influenced by everything. And Momo is an orphan, and something happens to her, and she visits a small town, and in that small town, small German or Italian town, everybody's nice, everybody takes the time to make things beautiful and worthwhile. But then the gray men come along, and the gray men live on time or stolen time, and they're always smoking cigars and are all in gray, and they feed off the time or life force of the people in the city or of the world, and they trick the people into taking less time, and so making more profit or having more time by doing less, kind of like that. But what it gets down to is that they speed everybody in the small town. Nobody wants the gray people, but they then kind of trick the people of the town to do the things in a more rushed way. And so relationships start to deteriorate slowly. The community starts to deteriorate. Things that were strong and beautiful starts to become shallow and fragile. And it's all shown in this small town. It's not on a bigger scale, but it's very beautiful, because like the people used to care for each other, and now they start to value time and things over people. And Momo is a child. She cannot. She's the only child, or she's a special child. She cannot be affected by this time-consuming machine because she, I don't know, she's connected with her heart, and she finds then an older guy. I don't know what he does, but it is a very cool movie. I just recommend it. I also mention here maybe the French movie by the guy that then went on making Alien 4, and he made The City of Lost Children, similar creepy style. And yeah, go watch these movies. I don't want to spoil anymore. Like, I don't know much about the directors or actors, but it's well played. It's based on a book, and it gives great story insights, and it also gives you maybe the insight how to take something you see in the real world and fictionalize it in a very fairy tale way, and also like fairy tale nightmare fantasy. So if you're interested in that stuff, go watch it. It's a recommend, and see you to the next review.